how you're doing with the challenge. I want to know if you're feeling closer to your purpose word. I don't have any expectation that you're going to just nail down that word right upon reading today's work. It's okay if you didn't. Some of the people you see posting their word or words have been working on this with me for a while, so this isn't new to them. If this is your first go at looking at this, be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. You don't need to figure it out in 1 minute. What I wanted to do was start to spark that idea in you, because I think sometimes people get misdirected when they're searching for their purpose into just looking at what their job is or what their job title is or exactly the offerings that they're going to do. And that's kind of a backwards way of looking at it. Hey, Arkadanya, it's really a backwards way of looking at purpose. You want to look at it as like, what's the energy I came here to give? Because you're already doing that. You do that every day. It's not something you necessarily like hunt for to find. It's something that you allow. It's already a part of you. You're just allowing yourself to be yourself in the most authentic version. Okay. And that leads me to my question, which is going to lead me to not so much a question, but another statement for you to take in. So you're ready? Everyone take a deep breath. Okay, so this question was asked to me when I was in a very deep, dark time of what I was going through. I was just trying to claw my way out of, I told you I was going to cry. I'm already doing it. It's already a deep, dark time of feeling like I was not even close to my purpose. And in fact, that I felt like I was doing a disservice to everyone, the world, God, the angels, all of that, because I wasn't being myself. And I had spent so much of my life trying to not be who I really was and trying to make up for it as if they were flaws. And so I was asked this question as I was in this space, and I was very open. I was very raw. I was in a lot of pain, but I was very willing to move forward, and I was very willing to do whatever the work was that was asked of me. Very willing. When you hit the bottom, you get there. You just like, I can't stay here. So whatever, mountains I need to climb and hoops I need to jump through, I will. And this was at a time, I mean, this stuff is more acceptable now, but even just 5 or 6 years ago when I was getting started in this kind of area of the world, or like the metaphysical and the spiritual, it was a lot less accepted even than it is now. And I was scared, and there wasn't a lot of tools for this work. So I was asked the question, if you were to go back and have a visit with your 8-year-old self, and what you were doing in that visit was telling her what your life was like. You've grown up, and this is what we accomplished, girl. This is what we did. This is where we are. This is what we're working on, and this is how awesome stuff is. What would that feel like? That was the question. And I don't think up until that point I had really thought of my life that way. Because when you live your life for everyone else and trying to be what everyone else needs you to be, you forget about that little girl who had big dreams. That 8-year-old version of me thought she could do anything. She didn't think it, she knew it. She knew she would be successful. She knew she would have all the stuff she wanted. She knew all of it. She knew it. Without a single ounce of doubt in her mind that she would accomplish those things. And here I was in my mid-20s being asked this question, and the idea of having to tell 8-year-old me what my life was like felt like one of the biggest waves of pain I had ever felt in my life. It felt terrible. I felt like I had failed that girl. I failed myself. And I hadn't really framed it, I hadn't really framed it that way before. I hadn't framed it in the sense of, how did I get so off track? When did I accept not being happy? When was that something that I said was okay? When did I decide that what everyone else thought of me was more important than what I thought of me? When did I say it was okay to just be like, all right, well, mediocre is okay. I'll just accept that. That's fine. Like, when did that happen? Because at that point, if I was to go talk to that 8-year-old girl, I would have devastated her. And I thought about sort of the things she'd want to know. And I thought about, at the time, my financial situation, not good. So I would say we have no money. We feel guilty and terrible and stressed every month to get all the bills paid. And we never spend any money on ourselves because that just makes us feel too guilty. You're a mom like you always wanted, a little younger than you thought you'd be, but you're drowning in that. It's overcoming you because you can't ask anyone for help with anything. That thing that you thought you wanted to do, isn't what you do. And you have no idea what you do, and you're not even doing anything close to what you want to do. That boy that you like, you did marry him, but you don't feel like you are being the wife he deserves. That dream house you have, you don't live in that. You can't even afford the teeny tiny little house you have. You don't do any fun things ever. That would have been the report to her. And that made me so sad at first and then so effing angry. I can't even tell you how mad it made me to think that would be reality, that I would go back and tell her that. And so I said, oh no, this is not going to work. And I took that idea and I combined it with looking at my two children who were babies at the time. And I looked at my two little boys and I thought, is this what they're going to do? They're going to copy me and say, the most important thing is that you have, the things you're supposed to have by a certain age, and that you act in a way that makes other people like you. That's the most important stuff. I'm not saying that, but I'm showing that to you. And, following your dreams and going for things is just much less important than, these society check boxes that you're supposed to be checking off. So by example, I'm going to show you that. And I thought again, oh, hell no. Nope. This is not my story. I'm in this story. I'm writing it. I'm the main character here, but this is not mine. I'm not writing this story. I'm just surviving this story, and that's no longer okay. So I started striving with those two things in mind, thinking of visiting 8-year-old me and telling her what our life was like, and thinking of my two children and how if I didn't break this cycle of not finding who you are and what you're meant to be and going for it at 110%, that they would have to fight this fight. And I knew the pain of that fight so well, and it was so fresh on me right then that I was like, no. I looked at my husband and I said to him, I have to go for this. I have to find this. And he said, yeah, you do. But we all need you to. And so I did. And almost 10 years later, I'm sitting right here teaching a class about purpose. And what I want you to think about, I don't want it to take you 10 years. Definitely do not want that. I don't want you to have to climb all the mountains I had to climb. I don't want you to have to face all of the things that I had to face or the adversity. And I don't want any of that for you. I want it to be easier for you. And so that's why I made this challenge. And that's why I put together the retreat, the purpose retreat, because I don't want any other person to feel like the answer to that question, what would it be like to tell your 8-year-old self about your life? I don't want the answer to that for anyone else to ever be what it was for me. I don't want it to be. So I want you to ask yourself that. And if you don't like the answers, you don't like the things you're telling her, you can change that. And the way that you do that is you find out what the frig you're here to do, and you do it with all the energy you have in your body. I'm telling you, I'm such a better mother, times a million better. I set a better example, yes, but I'm happier, I'm more fulfilled, there's so much more balance and harmony in my life because I do what I do also. And they see that, they support that, they watch that, they hear about it, they ask about it, they know about it. And they see that that's important. That's a priority. I'm a way better wife. Way better wife. I think when you are a mom and you first have babies, what your experience becoming a mother and your partner's experience becoming a father is two very different experiences, both difficult. I wouldn't say one's harder than the other, but they're different. And so you can feel really like it appeared to me like his life was still moving and mine was going backwards or something. And so that was hard. And to not have your own thing and to not have your own thing to strive for and build felt awful. And to be a wife now that works really hard and has her own thing and works on it and develops it and can come to the table now with that piece of her fulfilled and lit up, I'm a much better wife, way better, times a million. I'm a better friend. I'm better at what I do. I'm better at helping people, way better at helping people. I don't think it's any secret that I'm very direct, and I don't sugarcoat things because I'm a diagnostic guide, not an emotional advocate. And I don't have a lot of emotional advocate in me. I have some. I'm just much more of a diagnostic guide. I don't want you to stay still. And part of my purpose is that, you know, I see things that other people don't see. I pick up on energy. All of that is just there. You know, the thing I wanted to deny about myself for the longest time is my purpose. And if I was to not show up as me, if I was to be a watered down version of myself, I'm getting teary again, I wouldn't be able to help you the way I'm meant to. There was a time when I first started, I started helping people in the fitness arena. And I would try so hard to just speak kind and to never push anyone because I didn't want them to not like me. And now I will call you out on your bullshit every time because you need me to. You need me to be like, hey, stop. That story is not working for you. Think here instead. Move away from that. That's your ego. You need me to do that. And you need me to be direct to you. You need me to use this deep voice I have for that, right? But if I didn't allow that, if I didn't seek that, then I would just be being this watered down version of myself that wasn't helping anyone. So that leads me to saying one more thing. So there's the question that rocks your world. It rocked mine for sure. But now it's exciting. To add that, be a happy ending to the story. When I talk to my 8-year-old me, we check in once a month. We check in with each other. I'm like, oh my goodness, you live in your dream house. You and your husband are closer than ever. You have these 2 amazing kids that feed you so much inspiration and happiness and joy that you can't even imagine how awesome that is. They drive you crazy, but they also are the biggest source of light in your life. They're amazing. And you do your dream job. Like, it's the best job ever. You wake up every day, like, early, and I'm not a morning person, and I wake up early to get up and to get some of my work done because I can't wait to check in and to see the work that people are doing. And you know what? You have great friends, and you had a little trouble with accepting your body, but you're there. You're cool with it now. That's what I get to say to her now. And that feels really freaking good. It really, really does. And along the way, it shifted. You know, the first thing that I said to her that was different than the whole thing is not good, girl. Give up now, 8-year-old girl. Was you've dedicated yourself to making your dreams come true. And so then I started adding in the things that did start coming, and you know, that's powerful. So just to tell you, there is a happy ending to that story. So if you do check in with 8-year-old you and you don't like what you're telling her, change it. You can do that. You have that ability. It's through finding your purpose. What are you here to do? What are you here to give? It will make everything else clear. You will not leave my retreat without feeling and knowing that. You will not leave my retreat without having something really friggin' exciting to tell 8-year-old you. I can promise you that, okay? So this leads me to my other point that I want to make to you. If you don't show up as you hurt people. And I want to explain that concept because I know I'm saying it in kind of a way, but I do that on purpose. You know me. I like to rattle you. I like to knock you off of your comfort zone for a minute. If you're not you, if you don't show up as you, the most authentic version of you, if you don't show up and be that person, you're robbing people of your help, of your light, of who you are. And so I'm going to give you an example. I fought really hard with my ego about giving you this example. I'm going to be real. Intuitively, I knew it was the right thing to give to you because I knew it would help, because I was seeing some of you post in your posts and the posts that you're doing on your walls, some nervousness or some hold back about people seeing you doing this work and searching for this, and that they might see that you're a little bit of a hippy dippy trippy like me. And that and some of you are messaging me like, oh my gosh, I know I need to do this, but I'm struggling with this. So I know that I need to tell you this to help you, but I want you to know that my ego hates that I'm saying this, because ego and intuition, you're going to fight it forever, and you can't let your ego win. Okay. Here's what I'm going to say to you. There was the majority of my life, I didn't allow myself to be me, and I never really sought further in my purpose other than what the purpose was that was in my comfort zone, or I should say the job was that was in my comfort zone that I wanted to do. And I thought, okay, I can do this, and tried to convince myself that was enough. And when I stepped in and lived in my purpose, yes, I get people who say very mean things to me. I get people who try to tear me down, who try to, they insult my business, they insult my appearance. I got a message the other day that said, you really should have a professional do your hair and makeup before your videos, because you just really look like a mess. I did laugh, I thought that was funny. This is me. You just get me who I am, and I don't on staff have hair and makeup. I just don't. Nor will I ever. But here's the thing. You're going to get that stuff. I have people telling me I'm the devil and I'm going to burn in hell, and I'm a terrible person, and I'm trying to trick people. And I don't even know what the basis is for any of that, but I get that all the time. So yes, when you come out here authentically and you start searching for who you are and sharing that with people, people are going to try to tear you down. People throw silly things at me because they see me doing well, and that throws them off. Yes, all of that stuff will happen to you. I can promise you that it will. So I know that you're afraid of it, and I'm not going to tell you it's not going to happen. But here's why it doesn't matter. Here's why you won't care so much, why you'll be like me and you'll laugh at it. You'll roll your eyes. It'll hurt a little. It'll sting some of it. And then you'll just be like, whatever, I'm busy. I gotta move on. I can't deal with this. Here's why. When I do what I do well, when I'm authentically me and I show up and I have a session with someone, or I do a challenge like this, or I have a class that people take, or come to a retreat, what happens is that people send me messages. This is the part that my ego doesn't like me telling you. I get messages every day that thank me for changing their life, for the fact that they're still alive, for the abundance that they have, for finding the guy, for finding the job, for getting the house, for that huge inflow of money that they now have. Every day I get messages like that, every single day. And it's usually more than one every day. Now, first of all, I think that they give me too much credit, if I'm honest. But second of all, when you're over here insulting my hair, and you're over here saying that I'm the devil, or whatever that means, or that I'm a jerk, or I'm trying to trick people, or whatever that is, I'm sorry, but how can I care about that when someone is telling me that I helped them, that their life was better, that they've got the stuff that they wanted? And here's how that ripples out. For every one person that you touch, that you light up and help be more themselves, shine brighter in whatever way, once that happens, that person goes out into the world and shines brighter. And there are people who are affected by that shine in a positive way, and they shine brighter, and then they shine brighter, everyone and everyone and everyone. And it keeps going, and you cause a ripple. And if you don't show up as you, if you don't seek that purpose and go find a way to do it, that's not going to happen. So that's why I say you hurt people, because people need you. There are people who need you to show up as you. They need you to shoulder all the stupid crap people are going to throw at you. It's silly, guys. It's the stuff people say, good grief, right? Like, I feel like just being like, there's really very few things you can say to me that I haven't already thought or already heard from someone else. So could you at least be original? That doesn't matter, right? But if you find who you're here to help and you do that, that stupid stuff does not matter to you, because you are causing a ripple. You're helping other people turn on their lights and be who they're here to be. Whether that's as an emotional advocate, where you're helping them and you're bringing them through emotional stuff back to a great emotional place, and you're that shoulder that they lean on, and you're the person who gets them through that and heals them and helps them and waters that seed and makes sure the sunlight's there so that they can grow. Or you're a diagnostic guide like me, where you assess what the problem is and you find it and you help somebody move through it. Or a change initiator, where your job is to take people from point A to point B. Here's how we're gonna do it. And you might not be the person holding their hand the whole way, but you're making sure that they're getting there. You're making sure that someone else is, the right person is, or your words are doing that for them, or your story or your art or whatever is doing that for them. Wherever you fall, whoever you are, you're needed. People need that from you desperately. So the more you're not you, the more you let your ego win and tell you that people will be mean to you, it's not safe, people won't like it, or that you're not worth it, or that you're lesser, the more you do that, the more you rob everyone of the beautiful, beautiful healing energy that you're here to bring. So please think of that. Please remember that. Okay? All right. Long rant, question, story over. Tell me how I see your comments. I'm going to get into them in a second. Tell me how that question hits you about checking in with 8-year-old you. I'd love to hear and know that. And tell me where you are in finding your purpose word. I'd love to know.